Number one is I actually have a sports scar, which would sound bonkers to some of you, considering I'm not an active person. I'm a gamer, and I don't play sports. But I actually have one scar that it shows to this day. It was back in eighth grade, back when we had gym class. It's right here. You can kind of see like little sections of hair missing. There was a scar from when I played badminton in gym. I was actually real good at it, and there was like a girl behind us who was she didn't play very much, and on top of that too, I think she was kind of intimidated by me and another guy that was on the team, because I would like go out of my way to try to get the little birdie thing and hit it over the net. So she finally decided to go for it, and when I didn't exactly call that I wasn't going to go for it, and so it totally hit me right there in the face and busted me open, and I was bleeding. No stitches required. It stopped eventually. So yeah. Number two, I have a Jimi Hendrix drawing that I did, insert picture here, that I did back in the 12th grade. I did it 12th grade, my final year as a senior at Doss High School. It was liked so much that I actually was able to put it up at like a little gallery at some kind of like women's art gallery or something. No, it was put up at some kind of as art at display at some kind of women's place thing. I don't know why, but yeah, I still have it to this day, and it's in my closet at the moment. But yeah, it's not going anywhere. Number three, my middle name. I to this day still don't technically know how it is spelled. Middle name is Bradley. On my social security card, it is Bradly instead of Ley. So for the past several years, at least like, I don't know, 10 or 12 years, I've done it that way. But my mother claims that on my birth certificate, it's actually Ley. So I've just been saying it's Ly. So I don't exactly know, since I've seen it in two different things. Number four, back when I was like around 12, I used to collect basketball cards and some other sports cards. I was big into Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and all those other players on the Bulls. And so because of that, I actually retained a lot of knowledge up here from what players, what their number might have been, and what team they played from. So I could name off a ton of sports stuff, and I hate sports now. I could say, like, someone could say, okay, name me a player that has ever played on the Mavericks. You could say Jamal Murray. If they were to say Orlando Magic, you could say PJ Armstrong used to be on there. You could say Nick Anderson, Anthony Hardaway. You could say Houston Rockets. I'd say Otis Thorpe, Hakeem Olajuwon, so on and so forth. So it's some weird little facts that just stuck up there and never really went away. Number five, I've actually had an Inception-like dream before the movie ever came out. I had a dream where nothing really happened in it, but I woke up in the dream and I was still sleeping. I knew this because I like pinched myself and I couldn't feel anything. So I slapped myself to wake up. So I got up and back in bed, and I did it again. This time I bit like the inside of my mouth, and I couldn't feel the pain. So I'm like, oh, I'm still dreaming. Slapped myself, didn't do nothing. Slapped again, sat up again. Third time, same thing. Slap yourself. Slap yourself. You finally wake up. This time I finally skipped the steps and I just went for the slap. And by the fourth time, I was actually awake, and so that actually hurt. Number six. I have one of the greatest video game parties ever. I don't remember what age it was for. Probably around like 15-ish, I would imagine, or 16. But what I did was I had in my garage set up about like 3 or 4 tables, and then I fixed up a TV at like some of them, and then I had people bring their Xboxes, and then on top of that, I had a projector that I found at a yard sale for $100 with some surround sound computer speakers that were only $2. And so what we did is I closed down the garage door. On the back of it, I had a white shower curtain that instant screen, and then we played off of that. So I had like 4 Xboxes, the multiple TVs, and a projector screen all up in my garage. And then we had a Halo LAN party back when the first one came out. Number 7, I actually did illegal gambling, technically, when I was little. It wasn't nothing big. It was just those little pull tabs you would get. You know, you pop in 50 cents or a dollar, and you get the little pull tab. You pull it, see if you won. I never won more than $1. But yeah, technically I thought about that, and it's illegal gambling. Number 8, I've actually broken this thumb here. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's constantly popping when I do that. I broke it in a weird, strange way. One of my friends was staying the night, and we were falling asleep, and I don't know, I was like maybe 10 or so, 10 or 12, or 14, oh, somewhere, an even number probably. It was around Easter time, and I remember this because we were trying to just stay awake, and I had like these little chocolate coins that had like farm animals on them that were like, that had chocolate in them when you remove the foil. And I was sitting on the floor, he was sitting on the couch, and I acted like that I was going to take it and throw it at him. So I threw it. Well, I didn't throw it, but I slung my arm real hard while I'm sitting on the floor, but I didn't stop my arm from the inertia, and so I totally slammed my thumb right into the carpet. It hurt really bad. And then I woke up the following morning, and it was swollen and poofed up, and I'd actually basically fractured, broken my thumb because of that stupid thing. Number 9. I've actually had one video that is not currently up on my site that was actually pulled off because of copyright reasons. I just did it for fun. I didn't have any disclaimers or anything, and I guess Lionsgate got angry, which that's basically what happened. I took the theme song from Saw and clipped to it clips from the movie 1408, and so it made it look like that John Cusack's character was a victim and that all this stuff was happening to him. It was pretty cool. Not fantastic, but it was a nice little editing job in this and that. And it ended up for years, probably 2 to 4 years. And it got some views, I don't remember how many, at least 100 or something. But all of a sudden I got like a red flag on it, and it got pulled, and it was like Lionsgate video, or Lionsgate Films have seen your video, and it has been copyright laws from these 2 movies, and it has been pulled. And I was at first, panicked for a second, but then again I was kind of like, Lionsgate Films saw my stuff, cool. So it ended up not making it feel too bad that happened, but that gets me one of my 3 strikes, I guess, for YouTube. Number 10. When I was 4 years old, I was a real nervous person. I was always nervous and shy throughout my life anyway. But I was at a daycare, and I remember I had to blow my nose real bad. I had terrible, terrible allergies when I was little. And for whatever reason, I was spooked to go in the bathroom by myself. And so rather than go in there to get some Kleenex and blow my nose, I remember I had this long green-sleeved long shirt with dual yellow stripes on it. Weird little shirt, but I remember I totally just like blew my nose on my sleeve at that point, and it just kind of stayed there the rest of the day until it dried and got crusty. Number 11. About when I was probably 8 or 9, I remember I was playing Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game for NES, and I went to the kitchen to get a cookie, came back, and I saw the iron sitting on the ironing board. Don't know what compelled me to do it. I just wanted to see if it was still on. I don't know why. So I totally touched the iron, and I think it was unplugged, but it hadn't cooled down yet, and so I totally like burned a blister on my finger, and then it, like a little water blister thing from your finger from that. But then I just hopped back on Ninja Turtles, and once I got done playing an hour later or so, the blister disappeared because doing the A and B buttons popped it, I guess, and then you couldn't even tell that I ever had it done. Number 12. I am an only child. I have no brothers or sisters. This was because when I was at the age of 4 or 5 again, magical year apparently, my mother came up to me in the living room when we were living in an apartment, and she said, "Hey Sean," and she's like, "Do you want a brother or sister?" I was playing with my Ninja Turtles, and then I stopped, looked around at all my toys around me, looked back up at her calmly, and just said, "No." And she said, "Okay." So then my parents went off their separate ways, got taken care of, and have been an only child ever since. So I think that's why I kind of grew up odd. I had to create my own fun and conversations a lot. I had friends and this and that, but that was kind of later. So number 13. I've actually had 2 dreams where I felt physical pain. I'll talk about the second one first. The other one was more interesting. In the dream, for whatever reason, I don't know what town or country I was in, but there was like a volcano erupting, lava everywhere. And so it was shooting up in the sky, and everyone was running for safety, hiding under this, hiding under that. And towards the end, I went for shelter underneath of this shed area. There was just a rooftop made out of metal and aluminum. And I looked up and I saw that it was burning a hole through it. I looked up and I was starting to scream. And then as I was starting to scream, the lava came down and went down into my throat. I woke up and my throat was hurting. I think it was because of acid reflux or something, but I'm guessing I just got done watching the movie Volcano or Dante's Peak. Not sure which one, but that's about when that happened. Number 14. One of my aliases I've used, probably my first alias I ever had, was the character named Limbless Joe. He was a little goofy looking little dude. He had a red t-shirt on, no arms, no feet, and khaki long pants. And I went under this name whenever I did music. And so I did like 2 CDs, making a program my uncle Pat gave me, called Acid Music, and then just made like some little beats and stuff and music. And I still got them. If you listen to them, they're not that great. One was like a movie edition, so I had like clips from movies in it and stuff. Number 15. First ever game I pre-ordered, I remember, was at Toys R Us on Dixie Highway, and it was Mortal Kombat 3 for Super Nintendo. I remember going to pick it up, and I think the pre-ordering for games started for the first time ever about then, I'm guessing. But yeah, I remember I pre-ordered it and was picking it up, prepaid, was getting it, and I remember if you pre-ordered it, you got a free t-shirt with it. It had like the Mortal Kombat 3 symbol with the dragon on it, but they were out, so I didn't get it. Number 16. I've actually cut my finger before, my thumb. Still has the scar. I don't know how much you can see on it, but I think I was 12 at this one. My grandmother was watching me, and I was, she was in the kitchen. I was in the living room. I was playing with G.I. Joes, and I'd put like this little plastic container thing over the G.I. Joe. It was kind of like his coffin, and I grabbed a razor, box cutter, and was cutting it really fast. I was going to make it look like he broke out of it and be like, oh, I'm not dead, I'm back from the dead, I'm a zombie. But I had my thumb right next to it, and I totally missed and cut my thumb and then cut it open. And then my grandma comes in, she's like, what'd you do? And I'm like, I'm bleeding, get me something. And got some stitches for that. And I got my first ever Michael Jordan basketball cards from my mother, because I just started collecting ball cards then, and I couldn't quite manage to get a Michael Jordan one. She found a sports card store, and then I was hooked on sports cards for several years after that. And then when I got them taken out, she got me the Mortal Kombat movie action figures playset, which they were totally G.I. Joes.